What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. How are you guys all doing? Hope everyone's recovered from their Super Bowl hangovers. Today, got a viewer replay here for you guys from Miss Riley Toxic. If you guys hang out on the stream, you'll know that Riley is a longtime follower of the stream and someone I consider a friend and occasionally div with. And Riley today is in the USS Alabama.
Go home to Greenbow, Alabama!
I know we featured Riley on the stream before. I don't think I've ever featured the Alabama on the stream before. And what is the Alabama? Well, BB-60 is a South Dakota class battleship. It was laid down in 1940 and it entered service in 1942. It saw service in both the Atlantic and the Pacific. Its initial job in the Atlantic was protecting Arctic convoys. And some of the attributes that we see in World of Warships kind of mirror what it did in the Atlantic. So you think about, protecting Arctic convoys and dealing with wolf packs, think about submarines. So one of the things that the Alabama has, as opposed to, and slightly better than the North Carolina, Massachusetts, is going to be an improved torpedo protection belt. It is also slightly more maneuverable. Think about, you would have to dodge PEDs than the North Carolina. But everything else is, for the most part, similar. Its Citadel technically is a little bit harder to hit, but for all intents and purposes, similar from those aspects. You will see it does the turning circle in regards to the maneuverability, I believe, is 50 meters less than the North Cal class, so that is somewhat considerable. And you will see that in this game replay, Riley taking advantage of that. But yeah, Riley's dived with some absolute turd sandwich in the Baird. Who the hell is that guy? But anywho, is going to have a fantastic game here, and this replay definitely shows off. Of course, Riley's a solid Battleship player, so Battleship Tactics 101, as well as some of the attributes of the Alabama that make it different. This is one of her favorite boats. This is her home state's boat. As she opens up and enters, some salvo in here into the Fuso, and does 7K to the Fuso. So something to keep in mind here as Riley's looking around for targets of opportunity, and why we're looking around for targets of opportunity is just kind of due to the position of our Z-23. He's just chilling behind an island. I don't know if this is a newer player or not. I mean, they're in a clan, they're playing a tier 8. But this Z-23 made this game a whole heck of a lot harder than it honestly didn't need to be. Fantastic salvo there from Riley, 9K into the Fuso. And over there in the Cleveland is one of my newest followers. It's Mr. Surefire. He had just followed my stream a couple games previous to this one, and it was a bit of a coincidence that we ran into him. And the Z, they've already taken Delta. It's a pretty good matchup for the Z, considering there's only one destroyer, knows what it is. It's a Cossack. It's similar to, attributes to what the Z, I mean, it's kind of like a dream scenario for that Z. This is what it is, though. We're gonna make the best out of it here, and what our game plan here is. Yes, I am the turd sandwich that is div with Riley in the Baird. We want to work over this Fuso so that I can maybe flank out wide in the Baird and put some pressure there while Riley continues to do, the typical Battleship thing here. She's a top tier Battleship here. Gets really, really lucky that those speeds died out. But again, kind of creeping forward at a quarter speed. If you look at my position there, I'm trying to get some rounds here into the Fuso now in the Baird and work that over. Again, I'm not our Z is right by the cap. I have no clue why they don't go into the cap, and they honestly wait too long to do really anything. It is what it is. There is now a Bismarck that's entered the fray. behind Riley kiting out, there's a new Mex and an Issei that both go to kite out. Riley's going to be kind of left alone here. There's the Cossack behind that island, momentarily spotted. Riley's still trying to be a good div mate and teammate here and work over the Fuso with me, which she continues to do, and that's awesome and definitely appreciated. There are a few times here where the Alabama kind of rears its ugly head with some of the American dispersion. If you guys have ever played, you know, Alabamas and North Cals, every now and then they get some wonky dispersion. Can't get all our guns over there, but she's still trying to help me there with the Fuso, and is going to be able to do a little bit more damage here. Anything those big 406s can do to that Fuso right now is going to definitely help me out in the Baird so that I can push down. We can secure this flank, which is desperately needed. The rest of our battleships are in horrible position here. And suddenly a wild Cossack appears 7 kilometers away from Riley. Definitely not ideal, so Riley's going to switch over to the Cossack. Again, our Z-23 doesn't bother to smoke up and or help or do anything to help Riley here. That was, honestly, Riley's still looking to help me with the Fuso here, which is fantastic, even though there's a Z less than 6 kilometers away from her. Take out the Fuso there. Again, zero help from the Z-23. The Z-23 I'm just going to say it may as well have been a bot. A bot probably actually would have shot at this Cossack. And now Mr. Surefire, again, one of my newer followers, has shown up right in front of the Z. As I mentioned, the Z just waited way too long to do anything. He could have maybe even been spotting that Cleveland, so Riley could have gotten some shots into the Cleveland. However, it's too little too late for that Z. Riley does shoot the Cleveland. Gets a good bit of chunk damage there. And look, hey, the Cossack actually used his guns on the Z to help out the Cleveland. What a novel idea. Anywho, here's Wonderwall. So we're down on caps. However, we are tied on ships. Riley gets a fair amount of damage there into the Cossack. And I'm going to try to help her out in the Baird. Again, just you guys can kind of see some of the maneuverability here of the Alabama at play. I'm going to be able to knock off this Cossack for Riley. There you go, no more Cossack. And now, you know, onto the Cleveland. We do need to get this cap. We are now up on ships, but we are down on caps. So that's kind of going to be the next play here. Another nice salvo there from Riley into the Cleveland. She's looking around for additional shots. And you can kind of see just a little bit of a wiggle from the Alabama. Means that it dodges those PEDs there. Riley continuing to look for shots here on the Cleveland. On the enemy team, they got a Chouse, as well as that Bismark is still rotated back towards the middle of the map. So yeah, that's kind of some of the things she needs to worry about. Wonderful salvo there in the Cleveland, doing 9k into the Cleveland, trying to get her back gun around quickly. And now kind of looking to kind of kite out this Chouse, which is, you know, the right play, and then turning back in because we do need the cap. I think we're talking about what we need to do. And I'm kind of looking at this, and now we're way down on points that we need to turn and flip this cap, which is kind of, at the moment, not ideal due to the fact that we don't have a destroyer anymore. And we don't have a submarine either, so our lower concealment boats are no longer in play, which means myself in the Baird is probably going to be the one that's going to have to pick up that mantle and task, as well as, you know, get some help here from Miss Riley. So she's kind of positioning herself to come around and support, knowing that that Bismarck's probably going to be in the middle there. And yeah, again, we just lose the Ellie on our team to the enemy Colorado. Again, even, you know, something like that, Colorado's dangerous boat gets 406s as well at a lower tier. Granted, the dispersion values and stuff not as good, Riley's trying to cheekily get some shots over there on the Chouse. Fantastic idea. Why not? That would have absolutely smashed them if she was able to get those over. Um, so why not there? Issei's dropping the Chouse, whatever, however you say it. The Bismarck now is positioned here in the middle. So that's going to make it, if the Bismarck was to push into Delta there, that would make it a little bit hard on, you know, the friendly boats there, our new mechs and our Issei. They don't, and that's fine, because Riley is here to stop them. And fantastic play by Riley, and she's going to get a wonderful salvo here into the Bismarck. Just absolutely smashes the Bismarck for 18k. Again, showing off, you know, the somewhat hard to hit Citadel of the Alabama, even though she was, you know, slightly, well, more than slightly, basically broadside to the Bismarck. Doesn't take that much damage, and, you know, essentially deals a vast amount of damage to the Bismarck, as well as I'm looking to do damage there, and she's got everyone else there to help. Again, that harder to hit Citadel kind of coming into play there, doing an additional 12k there, while being in the cap. So, yeah, that Bismarck has seen better days, and kind of due to Riley's positioning here and being a good teammate. The Atago has now rotated back. That Atago on the enemy team has a fantastic game as well as the Chouse, whatever, however you pronounce it, has rotated as well. And it looks like the Cleveland's still there. Riley's going to be, you know, kind of working the AA here as well. The Alabama, like basically all of the Tier 8 American battleships, gets a fantastic AA suite. If you guys are ever having an evening where you're getting griefed by CVs, never a bad bet to play some American battleships.
Torpedoes, direct front.
They do very well. And Torps from the Atago, you can see just how easily that turn was for Riley to make there. Barely on the rudder and still able to avoid those Torps from the Atago there. Just wonderful, you know, being aware of the Atago's capabilities there, just straightening out her boat, as well as continuing to, you know, help and assist with this cap here. Although she is kind of the one that's taking the main brunt of things here. And Riley's already up to 100k. She's already up to 1.2, almost 1.3 million tanked, and with 10 planes killed and an assist in a cap. So right now, if the game were to stop for, I would say, the vast majority of players at Tier 8, that's a solid enough game. Riley's going to continue to do work, however, and you know, take the brunt. And honestly, Riley at this point is now going to become our team's DD in Alabama, which is crazy. And she does fine. This is going to be stellar. You know, keep your bow into stuff. American battleship play. There's arguably no better boat for this particular situation when you consider kind of the meta now with like coming up against the new line of battleships having, you know, usable torpedoes, and for the fact that she does have an Atago nearby her, and there's going to be a CV literally right in Riley's mouth here in a moment. So got that mix of maneuverability, tanky bow armor, as well as a fantastic AA suite. This boat was custom made for what Riley is about to do here. As well as you get this Colorado over here, so and the Bismarck right there. Riley puts some rounds into the Bismarck. Unfortunately, it rolls a little low, a little bit of a panic moment here. There's the Ryuju as well. Riley needs help, somehow leaves it at 455 HP, and looking for opportunities to maybe get her secondaries in play. Getting some hits, but they're not doing damage. Luckily, the Issei bails her out, continuing to pepper over these planes that are coming in from here from the Ryuju, which Riley is now spotting for the team, as well as the Colorado. Riley is doing the spotting for. She's going to be able to get some rounds here off into the Ryuju, as well as it looks like our ARP Atago switched to AP, as well as now she has the Chouse in her face and the Atago. There are many things that Riley needs to consider and look at here from this standpoint. Ryaujo is still kind of taking damage there from our Atago, as continuing to charge down into Riley. Yeah. There's so much going on here. Riley takes out the Ryaujo. Huge kill there. Definitely always, if
Nice.
you can, want to be taking out your enemy CVs. This Chouse is rotating back to Riley. Riley takes a fair amount of damage through the bow there. Now her gun's out. This Chouse is trying to probably push down into Riley to just torp her face off here, which would be unfortunate. I'm trying to look for shots into the Chouse there. If you look at those shells coming in there, so I can help out my div mate now. Do a fair amount of damage there. Riley's got some broadside shots here on the Colorado, and again, not a boat that you want to sleep on. Not a great boat, but anytime you have 406s on any boat in the game, it's still going to be able to produce and do a fair amount of damage. This Chouse is right on top of Riley. You know he's looking for beads on Riley. That would be the only play there. Riley picks up the kill. That goes for the Brothers in Arms medal. The Otago unfortunately takes on me. Riley's still looking for shots on the Colorado. Down to 4.2k HP. Eventually gets her heal here. Staying bow on here. Just exciting stuff there. Again, now Riley's up to 1.8 million tanked with 133k. 24 planes shot down, as well as 31k spotting damage. Some fantastic textbook Battleship play here. Looking for shots into the Colorado and helping out the Sirov here. And I know this game kind of looks at hand there, but there is Riley's Confederate. She does have Halsey on here. I know she was very happy to have proc that Confederate in Halsey. I think that she mentioned that was the first time that she's done that in a Battleship. So pretty pumped for her there. More shots into the Colorado. 14k damage into the Colorado there with just the front guns. Hopefully that Issei can finish them off. Oh yeah. Colorado turns away from that and unfortunately doesn't kill the Issei doesn't pick up the kill there. However, Riley's there to finish them off. This pesky Otago, shout out to Otago by the way. They played a fantastic game. In fact, picking up their Confederate right there as well. Picks up, some more damage. Puts a fire on Riley. Riley's now down to 7.8k HP. And then gets dispersed. So there you go. You can see it again. The American dispersion kind of rearing its ugly head there. Riley stalling the cap here, trying to farm some more XP. The Otago, it kind of seems like this is like, World of Warships 6.5, 7 years ago, battle between an Otago and a North Carolina, or not a North Carolina, an Alabama, so North Carolina-esque type battleship. Yeah, kind of coming in clutch. Riley, I think, is not too pumped about, potentially losing her boat here, so making the smart play here and putting that island between herself and the Otago while the Sirov continues to spot them. Really nice bit of marksmanship here. Riley realizing that she can get her back turrets around. Unfortunately, that I don't recall if they hit here or not, but just kind of really good awareness of what Riley's doing here. I think she's going to get trolled a little bit here. These should have at least done something. The Otago turns into him and just gets dispersed. Unfortunate for her. Game is all but over. Fantastic game there from Riley. Textbook Battleship play. And you guys get to see a little bit of what makes the Alabama different from like the North Cal and the Mass there in regards to definitely utilizing the maneuverability of that boat. Yes, she stayed bow on, but for a lot of those torpedo dodges, you can make the argument that they may have hit if she was in a North Cal or in a Massachusetts. So fantastic result there. 163k, almost 164k. 3 kills, 4 assisted in destruction, 2 Citadel hits. She actually picked up some spots there. 24 planes shot down, assist in a capture of a cap. all over the place in her battleship. This was her E badge in the Alabama. Uh, Generally offensive from a div standpoint, picked up the Brothers in Arms, also Confederate. Riley also picked up the Strike Team medal here, picked up the Dreadnought, just really, really efficient battleship play and angling of armor that was textbook. If you guys are new to the game, go back and watch this replay one more time and look at what Riley's doing from an angling standpoint. Chef's kiss. As well as picking up the high caliber here. Again, that's fairly impressive considering even though that she's a tier 8, there were some tier 6s in here. Not a whole lot of HP to go around, and just doing what she needed to do. Then it's Riley, almost 2.3k. We're going to call it 2.3k base experience there for fantastic textbook Alabama gameplay here. Looking at some of the additional things that Riley was able to do here, touched a whole lot of boats here. So from a battleship standpoint, that fantastic. As well as one of the things that kind of stood out to me from this replay. Obviously, as mentioned before, effective armor angling with the 2 million tanked here. But on top of that, utilizing that efficiently. And when our team had no DD, Riley did the spotting damage in some of the work there. Which again, really, really clutch. If you look at the boats that she was picking up spotting damage on, huge thing that you want to take out the CV, which is obviously crazy that was able to get picked up on. The Colorado, again, mentioning 406s, even though it's the Colorado, those guns are going to hurt teammates. And then the Bismark, the enemy team's highest tiered battleship, as well as the Atago, who the Atago went on to have a fantastic game. Almost 1.4k base experience on a loss is a great game in an Atago. That's really unfortunate they picked up that loss. But yeah, just very, very textbook, wonderful battleship play from Riley's home state boat, the USS Alabama BB-60. Hope you guys appreciated the replay. If you guys want your replay featured here, let me know. Shoot me an email or shoot me a message in Discord or anything like that. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. I'll be live later on Twitch tonight. And thank you to Riley for the replay. And happy belated birthday, Miss Riley. And thank you for your support on the channel.
It's my birthday.
Everyone have a fantastic rest of your week. I'll catch you all later. See ya.